what an honor to be able to minister. What a privilege, and especially behind this pulpit, amen. I'm greatly honored. I know there's a lot of great men here. I'm way more qualified than I am to minister. I'm honored to be here. I was sitting with Pastor Goody the other night, and he says, "You're the meat in between the breads." And I said, "Well, I'm potted meat, amen. That's what I call it." Amen. Mark 14:32. I want to preach this morning on the will of God, and nobody better to look at, amen, than Jesus Christ himself. We're going to begin in verse 32. It says, "Then they came to the place which is named Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, 'Sit here while I pray.' And he took Peter, James, and John with him. And he began to be troubled and deeply distressed. Then he said to them, 'My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch.' He went a little farther and fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, 'Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will.'" Amen. And let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this morning. My God, we're asking, God, for your, Father, your favor and your anointing, God. The Lord, Father, I'm asking you to speak to hearts, God, those that are struggling with the will of God right now, Lord. I pray, breathe, Father God, on them, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I heard a story about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they asked him if he had a role model, somebody that he followed in his training. And he mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger. They thought that was kind of odd, and they said, "Why Arnold Schwarzenegger?" And he says, "Because of his methods, the way that he trains. I really like the way that he thinks." He said, "I once asked him how many reps does he do when he curls, when he's benching. And he said to me, 'I usually do about 30 or 40. And he said, so one day I went to go and watch him work out. He said, "I do about 10. And he said, so one day I went to go and watch him work out. And I noticed that he wasn't doing 10. He was doing like 30. He was doing 40. And so I went up to him and I asked him, and I said, 'Hey, how come you lied to me? Why did you say you only do 10 reps? And he says, "That is what I do." He says, "What I do is I start to bench until it hurts. Once it hurts," he says, "once I feel like giving up, that's when I start to count." And so I thought about that, because that's the way a lot of people are in with the will of God. The problem is that once it begins to hurt, once the pressure comes, once you begin to suffer, and so many people, instead of moving forward and doing the will of God, that they give up right there. The moment the pressures of life come, like Pastor Campbell ministered, they quit counting and they quit moving forward. I want to minister a sermon in this morning that I've entitled "Sipping Saints." God has a cup, amen, for every person in this place that he wants to drink, or wants you to drink. I want to look at, first of all, the will of God. The will of God is not for wimps. Can you say amen? You know, we hear a lot about the will of God being said over the pulpit. Amen. I've heard the will of God, amen, at least about 26 times, amen, when I've been here these past few days. And it's kind of just thrown over the pulpit sometimes. You know, do the will of God. Are you doing the will of God? What is the will of God? And, you know, so many times it's just kind of just looked at as it's something that's simple. But the reality is that the will of God is not, it's not for wimps. It's not simple. It's going to be, for some of you, the hardest thing that you ever do in your life. If it's one thing we get out of our text, it's that doing the will of God, it takes courage. Listen to the words that are being used here. He says that Jesus was deeply troubled. He was distressed, exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. He throws himself on the ground and he begins to weep and cry out to God. Listen, it takes real men and real women and real couples to do the will of God. Can somebody say amen? Amen. It takes courage. The Latin word for courage is cor, C-O-R. It's where we get the word corazon. It means to have heart. Amen. That to have courage, you have to have heart. See, the world's view of a real man with courage depends on size, strength. When you ask somebody from the world, what is a real man? A real man is Rambo, The Rock. See, these big men with muscles and in their minds, and that's what a real man is. The world thinks the more dangerous you are, the more courage you have. If you jump off cliffs, if you climb mountains, if you swim with sharks, if you fight MMA, then you have courage. In the eyes of the world, that's a real man. But the reality is that many times men and women that are tough on the outside are usually weak on the inside. They're soft. They're driven by emotion. Very, very selfish. Many times you'll find, amen, that especially men that are tough on the outside, they've been stabbed, they've been shot, they have tattoos, that if you just lean into them a little bit, if you just rebuke them a little bit, amen, they crumble. The world sees a man do something foolish and crazy and says, man, that's a man of courage right there. That man has no fear. But when it comes to picking a real man or a real woman of God, amen, God doesn't look at how crazy you are on the outside. He looks at the size of your heart. He's not looking at the size of your muscles. He's not looking at the size of your body. He's looking at the size of your heart. Listen, God's not impressed with crazy and muscles and strength and gangs and knife wounds. What God wants to know is that you have enough courage to get up in the morning and go to prayer. What God wants to know is that you have enough courage to do the will of God, to outreach, to get sent out one day, to break a nation. Someone said a hero and a coward both have fear. The difference is a hero overcomes it. That it takes real courage to do the will of God. I was reading an article about Bruce Jenner. Caitlin. And he was talking about the courage that it took him one morning to match his shoes with his dress. And so somebody responded to him. Michelle Smith Glass responded. This is what she said. Dear Caitlin Jenner, being a female, I have never felt brave or courageous or under pressure to pick out my shoes or dress. Courage as a female is facing your days with a bald head and battle scars from cancer. Courage as a female is carrying a child for 9 months that you weren't planning on having. Courage as a female is being a mom and a dad to a child while putting food on the table because you are all that child has. Courage as a female is busting your behind to make it in a man's world. Courage as a female is to learn to walk out after you've been beaten by someone who says they love you. We don't play dress up to feel brave. We are brave in our raw, authentic selves. You will find the most brave women in this world do not dress in the finest fashions adorned by jewels and makeup. They carry crowns of gray hair, wrinkles, tired bodies, and withered hands. Learn the difference. Sincerely, a real woman. Jesus said, if there's any way that this cup can pass, nevertheless, let your will be done. You know what that tells me? That tells me that sometimes doing the will of God is going to require us to do things that we don't want to do. So many times we're under the impression that we're supposed to like the will of God. That somehow, that somehow you're not supposed to struggle, that somehow you're just supposed to get up every day and be excited about coming to church and doing the will. You know what? Sometimes you're going to be in cities that you don't want to be in. Sometimes you're going to have to take over a church. God's going to disrupt your comfortable life. There are going to be times when you're going to have to move overseas. Let me ask you a question this morning. Whoever told you that you were supposed to like doing the will of God? It doesn't sound to me like Jesus is liking it. See, this is where you have to be careful, because you know what? We can lose heart right here. We can lose courage right here. Now let me say this. To experience weakness is human. Jesus wasn't immune to weakness. He wasn't immune to fear. He wasn't immune to wanting to give up. These are all things that he struggled with. But at the end of the day, he did not allow his emotions to rule him. Paul said in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I would rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me." Here's Paul. And what he says is, you know what? Sometimes you feel weak. Sometimes you don't feel like doing the will of God. Sometimes you don't feel like being courageous. But like Jesus, you have to learn how to rule over your emotions. Let's look at, secondly, losing heart. Let's look at passing the cup. What happens to us when we lose heart or we lose courage? Many times we get diverted. A few things that people do when they are no longer wanting to do the will of God and they want to pass the cup. Number one is that you go into self-preservation mode. Jesus said, "Let this cup pass." No doubt he's thinking about himself, his ministry, his life. And for a brief moment, he takes his eyes off of the cross. See, this is a good indication you're no longer doing the will of God when your decisions are taking you further from the cross. When they're taking you away. Your daily decisions, your work decisions, your family decisions, are they drawing you closer to the cross, or are they pulling you away from the cross? See, when you are in self-preservation mode, you begin to build a life instead of building a church. You become what Pastor Mitchell calls a hobby pastor. I was talking to a guy the other day. He's been in the same city for 10 years, 20 people. See, but he's got a great job. He took me to a beautiful house. He's comfortable. His kids are in school. He said, "Brother, to disrupt all this, what I want to do is I just want to believe God for a breakthrough." I felt like saying, the breakthrough needs to happen to you. You get older and you start to count the costs. Some of you might know Tony Cisneros. He took over the church from me in La Paz, Bolivia when I got sick. He did a great job, and then went back and assisted his pastor, Salvador Castaneda in Mexico City. And then recently he went to Germany. He's a missionary again. But a lot of people don't know is that Tony was a real famous singer. He was in a real famous band in Mexico called Ciao Mama. And they would actually come out in videos. These guys were supposed to be the next Backstreet Boys. As a matter of fact, the manager of Ricky Martin was just about to sign a contract with him when Tony got saved. And he quit the band, didn't sign the contract, and he's doing the will of God now. And so I was just there in Mexico City last month, and I was talking with Pastor Salvador, and I said, "Do you think Tony did wonders? What would have become of him if he hadn't done the will of God?" And he says, oh, that's easy. He says, he would have been gay like Rick and Martin. Same manager. That's easy to know.
Oh, man.
Anyways, and so, isn't it amazing in our minds how we're sacrificing to do the will of God? Did you know that to sacrifice is to give up something for something less? You know that when you say you're sacrificing, you're calling the will of God less? But in our minds, I would have been a doctor, man. I would have been a colonel in the military. No, you would have been gay. Number 2. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't go. I was processing. Don't do it, Roman. Don't do it. Whatever. Number 2 is you're no longer flexible. See, when you're young, you're flexible. You're eager to fill your cup with the will of God. You pass out community, sitting here, spin the globe. See, if something happens to us when we get older. We walk in past his office, we're like, and I hope there's no globe. Problem is, when you're no longer engaged in the will of God as you get older, your cup begins to leak. See, and cups, what they're meant to do is to contain. It's meant to contain the will of God. But when you get diverted, you begin to fill your cup with other things. You're no longer flexible. I remember when I went to Bolivia, I had just had my granddaughter. And we would take care of her throughout the week, and she would sleep with us. And I mean, it was incredible. And I remember looking at her and thinking, man, God surely doesn't want me to leave her. Who's going to take care of her? And you start to contemplate those things as you get older.
That's true.
You have a house now, you have a car, you have a bank account, you have savings, you have some expression. Number 3 is you begin to compare your cup to other people's cups. See, everybody has their own cup. You've been issued your cup. Your cup is not my cup is not your cup. The problem so many times is that we begin to compare our cup to other people's cups. Well, how come I can't get that? I remember this girl, she was so excited, she testified about how God had given her this apartment and blessed her with such a good rent. I remember she said it was $625, and it's just such an awesome apartment. And then another sister in our church got the apartment right next to her for $525. Same apartment. And I remember she was so bothered by it. Why would God do this to me? Wait a minute. Last week it was God. Something happens when you begin to compare your cup to other people's cups. Well, how come they don't have it as hard? Everybody wants Pastor Campbell's anointing. Nobody wants his cup, though. See, this is the generation that wants anointing and wants blessing without having to pay the price for it. How do I get what they have without having to put in the time or pay the price? God gives me what they have without having to be proven. See, the problem is that comparison will lead to envy. Number 4, is you're going to want to be compensated. Compensation, listen to me. Compensation is nothing more than an entitlement mentality. It's nothing more than entitlement. I've done this, I've been faithful. You know what? I went there, I went overseas, I come back, and where's my compensation? Pastor, I've been faithful all these years. What do I get for my faithfulness? Compensation, if you don't put it in check, will lead you to sin. That mentality that feels that you are entitled to things will lead your heart to sin. You think about the prodigal son. He felt that he was entitled. Give me my inheritance, and he takes off and he sins. In his mind, I've been faithful all this time. Now it's time for me and to go and do what I really want to do. I picked up this article about the people that have the entitlement mentality are always thinking. It says, I have the right to act like a brat because my parents are leaders and have money. I have the right to act up because I don't have a dad and I live in a broken home. I have the right to be angry. I deserve to have children. So why am I struggling with infertility? After all, aren't children a blessing from God? I'm tired of being single. I've remained pure and sought Christ. So why hasn't He brought a spouse into my life? I'm such a hard worker. I don't understand why I still can't manage to find a high-paying job. I work hard. I'm entitled to have a bad attitude. I'm a good home maker and work hard to keep the house clean and tidy. I deserve to have a nicer, bigger home. I work so hard to provide for my family. I deserve to splurge. You deserve to be in debt. I've been faithful all these years. I deserve a better church. Be careful with comparison. You know, in reality, both brothers had the entitlement mentality. Prodigal and the older. The only difference was that the prodigal took off in sin. The older brother stayed home in sin. You can be here having a bad attitude. Because your cup isn't as full as somebody else's. See, what if God told you that you were going to have incredible breakthrough, expression throughout the world? You were going to have to lose 2 daughters. You were going to be betrayed by men, the very men that you invested in. And along the process, you were going to lose your wife in the ministry. Would you still want Pastor Mitchell's cup?
Serious.
Let's close. Let's close with having hearts. Drinking the cup. God's looking for sipping saints. Verse 36, and he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will. I want to close with a few things that will get you back on track in case you're no longer doing the will of God. Number one is you must have a right relationship with your Heavenly Father.
Yes,
and with headship. Jesus cared about his Father's will for his life. This is, he believed in honor. This is something, amen, that this generation doesn't understand. They like to make fun of people that honor. Oh, no, you like to kiss pastors behind. That's what you like to do. That church, they don't understand the honor. They don't value relationships. See, when you don't have honor, you don't value relationships. You're in and out of relationships. You leave in your wake just a bunch of broken relationships. You have no long-term friends. This is the generation that wants to jump from church to church, even in our fellowship. They just don't get on. Pastor Carlos Morales was telling me a story that there was an evangelist once doing a revival, and this evangelist, he's in this church that's full of Marines, and so he pulls this American flag out from under the pulpit, and he says, you guys here in America, you've made this into an idol. You worship this. You're not supposed to worship this. Not knowing that the church is full of Marines, and so he throws it to the ground.
What?
He said there was a Marine sitting in the front row, just jumps out and grabs it before he even falls, and the rest of the Marines stood up there in the church and they screamed, "Hoorah!" And he said the guy almost had an accident. Do you honor your relationship with your pastor? Because people that don't get this, man, man, he's just a man. He is just a man. But he's the man that God put over you. And when you don't honor relationships, you're quick to leave the will of God. Number 2 is you must learn to have rule over your flesh. Can I say something to you this morning? Your heart is going to get tested. You know, my biggest battles in the ministry have not been with demons or people doing witchcraft. All those things, are real. It's not with my past. My biggest battle in the ministry has been? It's been with my own heart. This thing has tried to deceive me time after time after time.
Sure.
And you have to learn to circumcise the flesh of your heart. Genesis 22, verse 1. Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son, Isaac, who you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. God is going to test your heart with your Isaac. He's going to ask you to lay it on the table, whether it be your job, your church. The day is going to come when you're going to have to circumcise the flesh of your heart, where everything inside of you is going to want to get comfortable. Everything inside of you is going to want to just stay neutral. Jesus said, Not my will. John said, More of you and less of me. Number 3 is you must stay committed. You have to stay engaged to the will of God. Regardless of how bad Jesus felt like giving up, he stayed engaged. Can I say something to you this morning? If you're struggling right now with the will of God, hang in there. Yeah. It's a season. Yeah. You're going to see breakthrough. Listen, the best is yet to come in your life if you hang in there. A heart that's committed, very difficult for it to be diverted. Pastor Mitchell said, you will never know the will of God until you surrender to it. You have to stay committed. Number 4, and I close, is you must remain small. Remember who you are and remember who God is. Isn't it amazing even how quick we forget? Like Pastor Olson was saying, you become somebody. You forget where God brought you out of, what he's done in your life, the people that he's put in your life, amen, to bless you and to make sure that you've gotten as far as you've gotten. Someone said if you see a turtle on the fence, you know that somebody helped it get up there. That's what we are. We're turtles. Don't forget. Remain small. I was reading this story about these two donkeys, and they're walking in Jerusalem side by side, and one of them says, man, just yesterday I had Jesus on my back, and people were clapping and shouting. They were so excited. They were laying palms for me to walk on and everything. And he said, man, just today now, I wake up and nobody even notices me. Nobody even acknowledges me. Nobody even cares. The other donkey said, yes, that's the way it is, my friend. Without Jesus, you're nothing. Don't forget that we're nothing without Jesus. You know, it's the will of God that gives you purpose. Amen. Without the will of God, Jesus would have just been another man who failed the mission. Do you hear what I said? Without the will of God, that's what drove him. That's what gave him purpose. Without the will of God, he would have just been another man that failed the mission. Would have been another Samson. Close with this story. The story goes that this real young rich executive is driving by this neighborhood, and he's enjoying his brand new Jaguar. Beautiful car. He's so proud of it. As he's cruising down the street, all of a sudden, man, somebody throws a brick at the side of it. And so he stops this thing, so angry. He notices a little 7-year-old kid on the side that had just thrown the brick. And he goes and he grabs him by his shirt and he slams him on the wall. What the heck is your problem? That's an expensive car. He's like, sir, I'm sorry. Don't hit me. He says, my brother, he's laying on the side of the building. Please help him up. He fell over the side. He's on the road. I fell off the curb. And I couldn't lift him. He's too big for me. And so he lets go of the kid. He looks on the side of the building, and there's his older brother. He's paralyzed. And on the wheelchair, the younger brother was pushing him, and somehow he fell over to the side, amen, and he's laying on the road. And so this man sees it. He runs over there. He picks him up, and he puts him back on the wheelchair. And so a year had passed by, and one of his friends noticed that the brick, the dent that the brick had made, was still inside of his car. And he said, man, you know, how come you haven't fixed that? He said, I haven't fixed it to remind me not to go through life so fast that someone has to throw a brick at me to get my attention.